Welcome back. So, as you may notice, if I show you up close a little bit, I have three folders open. My backup, my mod directory, active mod directory, my working directory, and my base game folder. Now you may wonder why a base game folder. Well, that's where you get 99% of all your data. You're going to need some variables to make a module, some things to do anything actually. The way the game is modded or moddable is by reusing and changing variables in these folders. Now, while you can technically mod the base game folder, you're not gonna go to do that because it's only for you and nobody else, and it will result in a inability to play multiplayer correctly. Let's just put it to that. So, but it's still important because these are all the things you can change about the game. So you know it's useful. Keep it up, keep it out. So let's say I want to have a module type, and I want. Well, what we're gonna do right now is a very simple something. It's going to involve editing a existing module or copying it, because that's what we're gonna do right now. 90% if you use the startup modding the game, the best thing you can do, because you're just new to this, you don't know what's happening or what's going to happen, right? So the best thing you can do just to get yourself going is just going around changing a few things, or maybe adding a different version that does a little bit more damage or does something crazy, right? Just for yourself, or just to see if you could do it. So right now, as you see, I have created a folder, and these folders are important because these will basically say what type of modification you're making. You can be anything from these, but do know there is one exception to the naming scheme. It's by the way you're naming things in your own mod. This one is a little bit different. If I just let's say if I want to change the name of something or give it a name because it doesn't exist, you will need to make a strings folder. And in the base game, if you're looking it up for comparing, it's called lang. So that's the only difference from what I can tell. If you're just going to edit something, it's something you need to keep a note. But this one is just strings, and normally I would copy folders. If you want to copy a existing folder, because like me, you're maybe dyslexic, unable to correctly do everything, you may want to go to the folder that contains all the other mods. Basically it's the same thing as where your mods are, except instead of /mods, it's in /steam/mods. So any mods you download, you can actually access the files and just mess around with them. As long as you don't restart the game, they won't actually update the mod, and you can just mess around with it. If you feel like changing anything, you can do that. It's really simple. But you are still limited to whatever you can do by yourself. So we just made strings. Right now it's not gonna do anything until I start editing. So let me go and open up a code editor. You can use anything. Because I'm on Linux, I have a few different variants of the same thing. It's okay. You can just use Notepad, but you won't get fancy notations, and you won't get easy to use multi-tabbing for things. And because I can't do anything right, let's just forget that ever happened. So I just opened up the flag cannon. We all love it. but every now and then people want to make something that gives a little bit more kick. Now, you can perfectly just copy all of these and all of the files from the base folder and just put them in your own and just change everything. I plan to make a harder than necessary mod that will just do that and basically give the AI the normal modules that are just stronger and more durable, and yeah, it's a really, well, it's literally what it is, harder than necessary. But you can just change everything about it, and I have seen a few people do this with the corridor, like removing the window in the corridor module. But as far as this goes, let's just say we're just gonna make a new module that does basically the same thing, except we're going to give it a crazy ability to just shoot wherever it wants to. And let's just say, because this is basically the arc, this whole line is the way they fire. You can do a few things with the grenade arcs, but you just need to look them up in the base folders. So let's just say I want this one to be able to fire wherever it wants to. I want it to be super durable, giving it 10 times the HP. And let's say I'm gonna do the same for the cost, because I want to be balanced, but you know, I still want everything to die. So at this point you can just start messing around with the mod and you just edit everything. A few notes are on each of these variables. Some of them are required, such as the HP and the weight, the cost, you know, those things, but not all of them are. And you may start to look from, why do I need that one and why do I need that one? There is a handful, or just a few exceptions, where you can't do that willy-nilly, and that's in troops and crew types. When you're making your own types of crew, there are a few requirements that you can't just delete, and the game as it is won't notice it, may notice it, but don't bet on that. So you just gotta let the crew modifications, you gotta let them for a little longer until you get how the way everything works. And of course it's just a part of experimenting with the mods. So let's say we're just doing stuff and I wanna have something truly crazy. Like it can fire 60, it has a clip of 600 rounds firing every 15 milliseconds. And it's like slightly more accurate. Accuracy, by the way, is also the way the game determines how far you can shoot with it effectively. Smaller is more accurate, while higher is less accurate. There's a few things. Just experiment with them. It will show you what they do when you do them extremely. Another thing I wanted to do is remove this entire variable. Of course, you can just take any variable, and if it's true, you can just do it false. Some variables have a standard setting. So basically, you right now see top only, but in the programming of the base game there exists a down only and a left only and a right only, and these are by default they are false. Well, this one is true. You will only see things that are different from the normal, the base value default in the modules. So I'm gonna remove this one. Well, I could just do it false. It's neater to do it like this. Once you have a mod like I do, every bit of code you can just forget about is better, because you have a lot and it's gonna take some time keeping everything up, you know. So anyway, I can just explain a few things. Basically, the name has to be unique. If you reuse the name somewhere, it will override it. Categories, where you want them, you can actually make your own categories, as you may have seen if you have used mods. Weapon is important if you're using a weapon, of course. The weight and the height. Basically just to give the shape for the module. These are important together because these always need to be the same as these, but you can actually have external appearance, which this module does not have, which do have different values for these. Appearance, of course, it's just how the module looks. The internal is always appearance, the external is external appearance. You can just look up any module like corridor, like struts or like decks that have a external appearance. Of course, HP, fire HP. Fire HP is when they below this point they have a chance to catch fire. You also have fire, explosion, HP. It's the same thing, but then the chance for it to explode. Well, most of these are very self-saying. This is what makes it a cannon versus a rifle or a Gatling gun. There's some behaviors that change. None too noticeable. And the recoil force is the recoil force because some of these things are, you may see like here you have your recoil and here you have your recoil. These are different. The recoil on this one for the appearance of the weapon is on how much it falls back. Well, this one is the recoil on the ship itself. So if you have like crazy recoil on this one, and this one is actually calculated by penetration damage, so not that So even if you have like set to 10, unless you have 1 or a decimal of 1, nothing will happen. Well, the center is, in this one, it's calculated by XYZ of the pixels inside the module itself. So if you divide the pixels, where this one is with the total, you get the location. Basically, it comes down to divide everything by 16 and you can find where it's supposed to be if you're just looking in the art program, which we'll do in the next episode because there's some explaining to do in that one. Optimum range is just for ships themselves. Shoot at troops, pretty much the same. Well, there is sounds in the game and you can actually just use one or multiple and make different ones and have variations in each. Same for explosions. It is just pretty much a basic weapon module. As you get more advanced with some of the things, you can have clips that have a certain amount of need for ammo to reload, or the various things, if it's a bomb or not. But that's just basically for this one. So enough yapping. Let's see what happens when we put it in the game, right? Because that's what all that matters. So because I edited it in the backup folder, my work folder, I will have to move it about. Now this is Airship. Oh wait, no, I actually did work in the Active Directory. As I said, you shouldn't do that, but nothing lost, nothing gained, right? This is an example, but you should just watch out for what you're doing because you don't want to accidentally do something stupid. But so I just backed them up because you never know what might happen. But let's just start this mod. So I just pressed R. This will reload. It will make a new thing change to the mods that I already have. If you did everything right and you didn't break the mod, it will not show any errors. That's a good thing, right? Because you don't see them. And when they don't see you, it's okay. So let's just see what happened to the thing we made. Now I know we did do something not quite right, but I will show you. Of course, not all modders are willing to make correct things. So, as you may notice, there's a lot of red text, and this is all just things not only by other modders. Some of these are by other modders, and some of these are by mine, like these ones. I still need to make them names, but I didn't actually have time, and I didn't actually publish the mod with broken names. Yes, I'm talking to you, the guy who made American Guns thing. Anyway, as you noticed, these are they are functioning modules. They will do whatever you tell them to. They will shoot, they will fire, they will wreak havoc, and you know, the general bad time for everyone involved type of thing. And I'm just gonna go and slapdash something together, because I want to show you what happens when you make something like this and actually use it. Because as fun as things get, trying to balance things is a real task. And while you can have fun, the fun is always just temporary, because you know, it's once you have fun, you know, it's one time. And multiply hatches. So we have a ship, sort of. And let's just see what happens. A big part of trying new mods or making mods is just seeing what happens when you actually try to use them and make something new, and see what happens when you do. So let's see something costly. Now I know for sure that this ship, these ships are going to get, well, they're not gonna have an easy time, even if they're 3 times as strong or 2 times. So as you see, it's getting thrown backwards because the recoil is just so much. And it just got hit. Okay. Yeah, it's been destroyed, but not before taking out the other ship. So as you see, slapdashing ships together is not a really good way of doing things, of course. But as things go, it was actually kind of effective against enemies like that. So redoing that, a rematch, and adding a few again. No, well, that's okay. So even, you know, it's really easy to make something overpowered rather than this to make something balanced. Oh god. I just lost my mouse there. Okay, so let's just follow the action. As you see, I may need to do something about the recoil, or do something about well, the you know, the recoil itself, but you know. Oh god. Oh god. Okay. So that's okay. But as you see, they stunned, no chance, because it's just too much. Okay, they managed to find themselves a way out of the map. That's interesting. That's new. Okay. that's something indeed. Let's just see what we can do, right? But that's basically how you just take a weapon and completely decimate the game and everything.